Hello everybody. Now, this is my first video for YouTube. Loads of people have been asking us, telling me that I should show how I make watches, and show how difficult but also how possible it is for people to teach themselves CAD design and then make something. It doesn't have to be a watch, it could be absolutely anything, but if you have the desire to do it, then there's always a way to do it. And I taught myself CAD design a long time ago, about 10 years now, and I don't know everything, and I learn something new all the time. Thanks to YouTube videos. I use BobCAD, and there's some great YouTube videos by BobCAD, and you can do it so you can draw anything. So I've been thinking about a new watch for about a year now. I've been dreaming about it and thinking about it and wondering how I could pull it off. I'm more absorbed in the look of motorcycles. I've always been a motorcyclist. I love how modern motorcycles are designed, and they look fabulous. The dark metallics, the matte finishes, but also the tubular frame, the bright colours that come with them. So I've been mulling it over for a while. How can we make a watch that really emulates how a motorcycle looks? My other watches, the Syncro and the Syncro R, they have inspired from cars and motorcycles. So this new one, I really want to try and encompass the look of a motorcycle. So I'm going to start. I've already had a bit tinker on. I've drawn some rough sketches, which I'm not going to show you because I can't draw by hand, but with the computer I seem to be able to make what I want. So here we go. I'm just going to start pulling the video together. Not be too long, hopefully not be too boring, so bear with me. Firstly, I'm gonna start with some measurements that I've had in the past, so I know how the size of the watch is. That took me ages to get the size right. Sometimes they'd be too big, too small, but I'm going to work on a 44mm watch. And the way I connect my strap connectors, I use swiveling strap connectors on most of my watches, so I'm going to stick with that, even though I have a new design in my head for the new strap connector. So I'm gonna start with the dot at the 22mm position, and we're going to put the dot there, and then we're going to mirror that dot on the other side. So that's where my two strap connectors are going to go. I've decided that the strap connectors are going to be around 7mm diameter. And again, I'm going to mirror that. What we're going to do is we're going to create some tubes and make a tubular frame, and I'm going to sketch out the lines first. So I'm going to actually do a tangent line between these two, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to view it from the end, tilt it slightly, and we'll try and run a sweeping solid. The tube I've decided to be 2mm, so it's got a radius of 1mm, and what we'll do is we'll try and run a sweeping This took ages to get right. I still struggle with it every time. There's probably an easier way of doing it. There we go. Okay, so that's where my first tube. I'll just view it from the top. There we go. So I think that tube's a little bit smaller than what I want from the center. I wanted 4 mil gap between the tubes. So I'm going to move that. I'm just going to move it up. Half a mil. And then I'm going to copy it. I'll not rotate it though. So then I copy it there. So already I've got the two straight elements of the frame. Now I'm wanting to put in some cross members. Now the way I wanted to do this was have it as a 45 degree or a 90 degree angle, sorry. So I'm going to sketch a line. I'll have a horizontal vertical line about there. Okay, and then I'm going to run an angle line. I like to do it that way, so I'll choose it that way, and then I'll just mirror it. For some reason I like to draw on the left. I don't know why. That's not working. Give me a second. Yep. I'll copy that. Okay. Right, so there I've got my 40 degree angle coming off there, but then I'm going to have a 90 degree angle, and you'll see what I'm doing in a minute when I finally get it right. So if we just take it back to wireframe, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim that right about there. And then we're going to put this angle in. Right, I want a 90 degree angle this time. I'll change the settings to 90 degrees. And then I'm going to trim that one down. I'll trim it off. Okay, so this is the wireframe, and now I'm going to do another sweeping surface to create the tubular frame. Bear with me, I shall try again. There, so it did. Sorry it took so long. Right, so that's what I want, and that's what we've got. So I'll do it again on this next one. I'm quite new to sweeping surfaces. I only learned how to do it last week, so please bear with me. Okay, so there we go. So we've got the tubular frame I desire is starting to come together. I'm just going to move some parts of it around, and we shall see how it looks as I get these parts closer together. So there we have it now. So that's the framework there starting to come together really nice. They're at the same height as each other, and we can see the nice joins there that we can machine later. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to move them closer to the center. So I've got coordinates on the side of the screen that you can't see, so I'm using them as opposed to dragging and clicking. Okay, so I'm going to move it towards the centre by 1 millimetre, and there we'll have it start to look close to what I'm thinking of. If you imagine a motorcycle frame on the side, you've got to remember this is going to be tiny. This is going to be about that big on a watch that is, you know, 46 mil or 44 mil long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, and I'm going to copy to there. I'm going to actually press copy when I do it, and it'll copy and not just move it. There we go. So there we got this frame. I've got a few things to delete, but that's pretty much the crux of it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete the bits I don't want, and if you bear with me a second, we'll just do that. Of course, it's a tube frame at the moment, so we can see all the way through the tubes, which is quite nice, but obviously when we come to machine it, it'll look like a solid, it'll be a solid piece of titanium because I'll machine it in titanium, because all my watches are made of titanium now. I prefer titanium. It machines lovely, it's light as a feather, it has a great look. You can brush it, you can coat it, you can sandblast it, polish it. It has loads of amazing features and finishes, and it engraves really well. Yes, it's expensive, but it gives a lovely finish to a watch, which is what I'm interested in. So what we'll try and do here is we'll try and tidy the raggy edges up of these that I don't want, and it'll start looking more like a framework. So what we'll do is we'll change the view, to it that way. If I just tilt it there, you'll see what I'm looking at. And what I'm going to do is try and get this done first time if possible, so I can see my tubes. And I'm going to sketch an arc, and I'll change the colour so I know what colours I'm in. So that's pretty much what I want. And then I'm going to create some lines. And what I'm going to do is I want to come off the centre. So I'm bang in the centre there. Just enough where I can delete. Make sure those lines are joined together. Actually, I shall trim these off because I'm just making a way of cutting my tubes off. Doesn't sound good cutting your tubes off, but that's what we're going to do. So here we go. So I'm going to use the extrude cut function. I'm going to highlight that sketch there and see how it cuts all that way. So I'm going to change the coordinates on the other side so it's going to cut both ways. Okay, and there we go. It's cut that lovely. We can still see the wireframe sketch lines, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror it down to the bottom there. Extrude cut again, highlight it, boom. Oh, it must have been slightly out because it's managed to shave some of that surface off there. So what I'll do is I'll undo that. I wasn't expecting that, so bear with me a second. I'll just have a look at the positioning of this circle. Yeah, it's funny because it looks perfect. What I'm going to try and do is just make it slightly bigger. Let's try again, see what it does now. Tidy these edges up. Okay, let's try again. There we go. So there we have it. The basic frame of my new watch. Now I'm using this as a starting point because this is something that I've never done before. It's brand new to me, and I'm going to find out how to create a toolpath to machine it, and what I'll do is I'll put that in the next video. Thank you.